Hey there, I'm Helen and I am the Cheesecake Runner. I'm a keen runner and I am a nutrition coach, and I work with runners who are keen to improve their diet and their fitness, and also runners who are looking to run their first marathon. Okay. So welcome, and welcome to my Diet Essentials for Marathon Training Success. Now, I wasn't always a runner. In fact, over the past few years, I have now run 8 marathons, and I've got another 2 coming up this autumn. But it wasn't until about 2012 that I really started out on my running journey, and I ran because I wanted to feel alive. I wanted to start feeling fit and vital, and I needed to lose a little bit of weight. So I now coach runners and help them to realize their marathon running dreams by getting their diet and their nutrition right. And so that's what we're going to focus in on today. Now, lots and lots of runners are really confused by diet and nutrition advice. There seems to be, every month, every year, another sort of diet craze that's coming along, or quick fix solution to help you train, help you eat healthier, or help you to lose that weight. So this is for you if you are looking for sort of honest, sensible advice that'll work for your marathon training, and that isn't just the latest quick fix fad that'll get you there. So what we're going to be covering today is, first of all, I'll go through and I'll explain all about energy for marathon training and what you need to be eating to make sure you've got all the energy you need for your training and for your long runs, and to get you around marathon course on race day. We're also going to be looking at some of the training nutrition mistakes and what I see a lot of people doing wrong when they're in the midst of marathon training in relation to their diet and nutrition. Because I don't want you to make the same mistakes. I need you to make sure that you are going to have successful marathon training, and you're going to get there in great shape, and you're going to get round on race day in a fabulous time. And I'm also going to take you through my approach to nutrition for marathon training that has helped me get around the 8 marathons I've done so far, and has helped me focus, gave me loads and loads of energy, and has helped me to lose weight in the process. Okay, carbohydrates, which are stored in your muscles and also in your liver, and it uses those carbohydrates as well as fat from your body, from your adipose tissue, and it uses those 2 macronutrients as fuel to fuel your running. Now, when you're doing your long runs, you're going to be using quite a lot of fat for fuel, which is fabulous because we all want to be burning more fat for fuel. But you also need carbohydrates to burn your fat. So you need carbs and fat together in order to burn that fat as fuel. And I always liken it a little bit like a candle. So in a candle, yes, you can get wax to burn, but it's really, really difficult. But if you add the wick to the wax, then, the candle burns quite nicely. So it's the same with carbohydrates and fat. You can burn fat, but it's so much easier to burn fat to get the fuel to fuel your running if you've got carbohydrates in your body. So first up, for energy, you need carbs and fat, and they will provide you with the fuel that you need for your running. Now, when you run fast, so we're not all Usain Bolts of the world, but if you're going out and you're running, doing some sort of threshold running or much faster pace running, or if you're picking up the pace when you're on one of your long runs and you're giving it a bit of a sprint or a bit of a speed session, then what happens is the faster you run, the more carbohydrates that you're going to be using for energy for that run. So you shift away from burning the fat to burning more carbohydrates at the faster paced running. And at slower paced runnings, that is when you're going to be burning more fat as fuel. So when you're going out on your long runs in your marathon training and your training schedule says, oh, you need to be running your long runs at quite a slow pace. The reason you're doing that is because you need to be training your body to burn fat as fuel. And your body learns to burn fat as fuel at that slower pace. Now, you've only got a limited amount of carbohydrate can be stored in your body. And it's about enough for about 90 minutes of running, which is why when you're going out and you're marathon training and we're going beyond that sort of 90 minutes of running, that people then, you need to be thinking about taking on board other fuels in the form of carbohydrates along with your running. And when your body has run out of carbs, what you'll find is, or if you're training in a low carb state, or you're on a low carbohydrate diet, what you'll find is it's much harder to run. And that's because you're having to call upon your body's fat reserves to burn fat as fuel for your running. And it's just so much harder for the body to get energy from fat without carbohydrate than if you had adequate carbohydrate sources in your body. So remember that in order to burn fat and to burn fat easily for your long runs, you need that carbohydrate for energy as well. It's so hard for your body's biochemistry to burn fat as fuel without carbs. Now, your body can also burn protein for fuel, but it's very hard for the body to burn protein as fuel, because what actually happens is it has to convert the protein into glucose first, and then it'll burn it as fuel. And what actually happens is, rather than burning any protein that you've eaten that day, your body will call upon the protein in your muscles, and it starts breaking down your muscles to get that protein and burning as fuel. And because you're then damaging your muscles, what you'll end up with if you're trying to use protein as fuel is your muscles will become really quite sore. And that's something we really want to avoid. So to avoid that, we need to be making sure that we've got sufficient carbs, we're eating sufficient carbohydrates to enable our bodies to burn both fat and carbs as fuel rather than protein. We really don't want sore muscles. Okay, so that's a little bit about where your body gets fuel for your training and the fuel to power through your runs. So you remember that at faster training, you're going to be using more carbohydrate, and then at your slower runs, we're looking to burn fat as fuel in the presence of carbs. Now, what are some of those training nutrition mistakes that a lot of marathon runners make? Now, first off, I see a lot of marathon runners, they start off running wanting to lose weight. And, when I first set out running, weight loss was one of the reasons I started running in the first place. And a lot of runners, especially new runners, they sign up to a marathon and think that they'll be able to lose a ton of weight through their marathon training. However, it doesn't always happen. And there's a study that's been carried out in the US amongst US charity runners. And what they found was that only 11%, they were on a 16-week, quite intensive, hard marathon training program, like we all go through just in the lead up to our marathons. They were doing a hell of a lot more exercise through that 16-week period, and they didn't put on weight. That's quite common. And very often the reason people don't don't lose weight, marathon training, and in fact gain weight marathon training, is because they overestimate the amount of calories that are burnt, when you're going out for a run. And if you're not a regular runner, it's so tempting to almost be eating for two when you're training, because you think, oh my goodness, I've gone out and I've done these amazing runs. I've burnt all these calories. I must be able to be able to eat more food. Well, very often you are then overestimating the amount of calories that you've actually burnt. And if you pile up your plate and start eating more than you need, you're going to be putting on weight. The other thing I see a lot of people doing is rewarding themselves for the training runs they've done. So marathon training, it can be hard. You're going to be running, very long runs. You're going to be doing hill work. You're going to be doing speed work. And oh my God, it's going to hurt. And, if you're the sort of person who rewards themselves with, cake or a chocolate bar or a pint of beer after the marathon training, you've got to be really careful about that, because again, you're rewarding yourself with food that is, not very, not very good nutritionally. And you then could be putting on weight because you're piling in the calories from your treats. Or the other mistake that I see a lot of marathon runners do is they decide that they want to be losing the weight. So alongside marathon training, they are going to go on a low calorie diet. Now, this year, in the lead up to the London Marathon, I had one girl contact me and she said, Helen, I need to lose some weight. It's 4 weeks away from London and I need to lose a couple of pounds. I'm going to go on the cucumber detox diet. And I went, oh my God, please, cucumber girl, do not do this. So I see a lot of marathon runners, people training for marathon runners, going on really, really strange, detox, low calorie diets. And that is absolutely the wrong thing. You do not want to be going on a low calorie diet when you're marathon training. And this is why. So when you go on one of these low calorie diets, what actually happens is that you're trying to be losing weight. So you want to be burning fat in your body, because that's why we're going on a low calorie diet. But as I've just explained to you a little bit about energy, your body burns carbohydrate in preference to fat. So when you're going on a low carb diet or a low calorie diet, it's still going to be calling on carbohydrate in your body in order to help it burn fat. So what you're going to be ending up with is you're not going to have very many carbs stored in your body, because, you're not eating them and your body's using them in order to burn the fat, to burn for fuel, to fuel all those body processes that it needs to do on top of the running that you're going to be making it do. So you're going to be trying to train in a low carb state. And you know what that happens? It is really, really tough because you haven't got the carbohydrates in your body. It is really, really tough then for your body to burn fat for fuel to power your running sessions. And I see so many people trying to do this. They're on a low calorie, low carb diet, and training is it just gets tougher and tougher and tougher. And even going out on slow, short, training runs, it gets really, really hard. And I've had people come to me and they're going, oh my goodness, how the heck am I going to train for this marathon? How am I going to run a marathon? I'm finding it harder and harder and harder. And very often the reason is because they're cutting out too many calories from their diet. They're going low carb, and basically the body just doesn't have enough fuel to burn to power their running. So, and what happens then? Your runs are really, really hard. You get demoralized. When you get demoralized, you do one of two things. You threaten to pull out of the marathon going, I just can't train. There's no way I'm going to do this any longer. Or you eat cake and you give up. So you might have been on a diet for 5 days and then you pig out at the weekend and then just give up on the whole thing. It's so much better to just not approach, not go on that low calorie diet, not go on that restrictive diet when you're marathon training. If you do need to lose a few pounds, it's so much better to do that and get your diet under control, get your weight under control before you start marathon training. Because when you're in the midst of a hard marathon training program, you need all of the energy that your body can give you to actually get out and do your runs and power through your training to get yourself fitter to run that marathon. Okay, so let's look at my approach. So I lost weight when I started marathon training, but I didn't go on a crazy detox or cleanse or elimination diet. So let me just take you through my approach to my nutrition for my marathon training. And it's successfully got me through 8 marathons already, and I'm training for another 2 this autumn. So first up, my approach to my diet is to eat a balanced, healthy diet. So it's all about eating the right foods for good nutrition and eating them in the right quantities. So it's about listening to your body and not, just piling your plate for the sheer hell of it because I've been out for a massive, massive run. Therefore I deserve loads and loads of pasta and loads of cake. No, you need to make sure that you're eating proportionate to the running and the calories that you're burning. Now, I adopt a balanced, healthy eating approach, and I do that without restricting myself, without banning foods or taking expensive supplements and powders. But balanced, healthy eating, not a lot of people sort of advocate it. And, it isn't backed by, a large marketing budget like, protein supplements and the latest diet craze. But it's what works. It's backed by science and it works. So let me take you through what constitutes having a balanced, healthy diet for marathon training. So first up, you absolutely need to get at least 5 a day. So you need to be eating at least 5 portions of fruit and vegetables every single day. 10 if you can manage it. And you need to make sure that you get a variety of fruit and veg in your diet, not the same old. So not just carrots and peas and broccoli. Be adventurous. Try new vegetables and new fruits. We're just getting into summer, so you've got summer fruits and vegetables coming in. It's a brilliant time to increase the amount of fruit and veg in your diet. So why do we need good portions of fruit and veg in our diet? Well, it's great for general overall health, but for a running perspective, fruit and veg provide vital vitamins and minerals that as runners, we put so much more stress and strain on our bodies when we're out training. So we need more vitamins and minerals in our diets than the average Joe public. Also, a lot of fruit and vegetables are great at providing you slower release carbohydrate sources. So things like sweet potato, they provide loads and loads of good vitamins and minerals, and they are a great source of carbohydrates too. And the third thing about fruit and vegetables is fiber. Fruit and vegetables are packed with great sources of fiber, and fiber is so important for good gut health. And we need good gut health, not just for us as being runners, but for our... Okay, the next piece of advice for you around your diet for marathon training success is don't dismiss starchy carbohydrates. Now, I know the big thing at the moment is low carb and, sugar is bad for you and carbohydrates are bad for you. But You need carbohydrates in your diet, and starchy carbohydrates at that, to help you and to give you enough fuel to power through your marathon training. So you need starchy carbohydrates. And I recommend that you get deep and intimate with whole grains. Now, whole grains are really, really important for you. They are a great source of carbohydrates. They are very often low GI, so they give you a slower release of carbohydrates and into your blood. And they also are packed full of vitamins and minerals themselves. And they're also great sources of fiber, again, for great gut health. So don't dismiss starchy carbohydrates and try to include more whole grains in your diet. You won't go back when you start to include whole grains. The third thing is you need to be eating good quality lean protein as a runner and as someone who's training for a marathon. Now, that protein can come from meat sources, fish sources. It can come from vegetarian sources of protein like pulses, vegetables or whole grains and nuts and seeds. Or you can get good quality protein from eggs and dairy. Now, if you're eating a balanced, healthy diet and you don't eat too many sort of ready meals and you're not faddy in what you're eating, chances are that you are eating, good amounts of protein already in your diet. And you shouldn't need to supplement your diet with protein powders and shakes and extra protein bars. They're really, really not needed. And your body metabolizes protein so much better from food sources rather than from shakes and powders. It just manages to get all the nutrition much better into your body from real food sources. And also, loading up on additional protein doesn't mean that you build more muscle. So eating more protein doesn't equal bigger muscles, okay? What actually happens is if you eat too much protein or more protein than your body actually needs, is, it just gets metabolized and it gets excreted in your urine. So you need to eat good quality protein, but you don't need to go overboard. And the reason us runners need good quality protein in our diets is when we're running, we make small sort of micro tears in our muscles. And those micro tears, they appear as being sort of muscle soreness. And you need to make sure that you're eating good amounts of protein so that you can repair your damaged muscles. So you can make sure that you repair them for the next time, that you're going out and training. Now, a lot of people are, wanting to load up on protein, and they're switching from carbohydrate to protein. And one thing I do want to say is that 100 calories of protein is providing the body with exactly the same amount of energy as 100 calories of carbohydrate. So if you're eating a protein flapjack bar, so to speak, or a regular flapjack bar, and that's 250 calories and that's 250 calories, it's providing you with the same number of calories, whether you've got a protein bar or a carbohydrate, regular sort of flapjack. It's no lesser amount of energy that you're actually feeding your body. The other thing about protein though, is it actually satiates you. It means that you're not as hungry after you've eaten. So that's always a good thing to be thinking about when you're eating protein in your diet, because it'll mean that you're less hungry later on in the day. Okay, next, you need to make sure that your diet is rich in iron. Why? No idea why we need to be rich in iron. And the reason being is when we go out running, our feet strike the pavement. So they go bam, 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 bam. And every time your feet strikes the ground, what actually happens is you burst some of your red blood cells. And when you do that, you release iron and the iron then gets excreted. So as runners, it's vitally important that our diet is rich in iron. And we need more iron in our diet than the general population because of that sort of foot strike that you're doing every time that you go out running. Now, where can you get iron in your diet? The best source of iron is from red meat sources. And offal, oh my God, offal is an amazing source of iron. But I know a lot of you are really squeamish when it comes to offal. But if you're not, give it a try. It's a cheap food source. It's a great source of protein and a great rich source of iron. You can also get iron if you're vegetarian from green leafy vegetables. So, and if you're a vegetarian, make sure that you're cooking your meals in an iron cooking pot, because that also will increase the amount of iron that's in your diet. Now, a lot of runners can feel a little bit anemic from having lacking iron in their diet. So if you are feeling a little bit jaded, you're feeling lethargic and you're lacking in energy, and you suspect it might be because you're feeling you're anemic, then you really should go and consult your doctor rather than Facebook. Your doctor is the expert. They will be able to give you the test that you need and to give you any supplements that you need to ensure that you're getting the right levels of iron in your body. Okay, next. Okay, this isn't a food stuff, but you really also need to be drinking for training and for good health. You need to be drinking plenty of water whilst you're marathon training. Now, what I usually do is to make sure that I've always got a pint of water on my desk, and I walk around. I've always got a water bottle with me. Every time I get in the car, I've got water, and I literally, I'm always surrounded by water, and I make sure that I'm drinking water all the way through the day. So always taking little sips of water. I'm going to take one now. Through the day to make sure that I'm well hydrated. So many people that I work with as a nutrition coach, they admit to me that they're pretty dehydrated and they don't drink a lot of water through the day. And it's just so easy to skip drinking. So that's why I always recommend that you carry water with you, and you always have, a glass of water on your desk, or with you at all times. Now, if you're not in the habit of drinking water, or drinking coffee or tea throughout the day, and then you get to the end of the day and you're out training, you're going to find your training hard. Training in a dehydrated state is so much harder. So, for better training and for good, effective training, you need to make sure as a marathon runner that you are well hydrated. So make sure that you're drinking plenty through the day. So those are some of the tips that I've got to tune up your diet for your training. And if you're planning to run a spring marathon, or if you're running a marathon this autumn, you really do need to start thinking about tuning up your diet right now. If you're running that spring marathon, don't leave it to January to make sure that your diet is right and ready for you to be able to run. Especially if you need to be losing a few pounds. You're not going to do it through the final 16 weeks of your marathon training. Chances are you might put on weight whilst you're marathon training. So if you do need to change your diet, if you do need to make improvements to your diet, you really do need to be focusing in on that right now. And if you tune up your diet, then you will be rewarded with marathon day success. If you don't get your diet right, you're going to struggle with training, and you'll struggle with getting around your marathon training course. Now, food for fitness is just one of the key parts of a good training program. And it's one of the things that I have included in my program called Marathon Club Hub. Now, Marathon Club Hub is a program, it's a virtual program that is designed to help you train and get prepared to run your marathon, and to run your marathon either this autumn or this spring. So let's take a look at what you get in Marathon Club Hub. So I'm just going to show you what's in the program. So just bear with me. Okie dokie. So in Marathon Club Hub, this is what it looks like. I've jumped right into the program right now, and we're in June, so we've got all the modules here are all part of Jumpstart this June. What you get in Marathon Club Hub, firstly, you get a monthly running plan. So this month we are kickstarting our running. So let's take a look. So in June, we are building up our base fitness, because we're starting off with the training program, with the training plan. So with the aim that we're running a spring marathon. So right here in June, we're focusing on building up your base fitness. The other thing that you get when you join Marathon Club Hub is each month you get some strength and conditioning work. And right now in June, we're focusing on the warm-up and your pre-run routine. So in Marathon Club Hub, I give you, in June here, I'm giving you some suggestions to how you should be warming up. And one of the suggestions here is doing some lunging, some lunge walking, to get you warm. And also in June, I'm going through some body mobility exercises. So starting at the top, we're going to be doing some roll downs to get your total body all warmed up and prepared. And every single month, you get a running plan that builds gradually, and also strength and conditioning work. You're also in June, we're focusing on 5 food for fitness foundations. So in June, I give you all of the advice and tips that you need, with practical advice here on what you need to be doing to tuning up your diet, to make sure that it's right to get you ready to run. And we're also in June, because June we're focusing on food for fitness. I also in every single month give you challenges to be doing. So this month our challenges are all around food for fitness. So each week I've got a little bit of a different challenge that everyone in Marathon Club Hub is going through. So I think last week I challenged everyone to go on a chocolate-free week. So we're then, just checking, are we addicted to chocolate? Is chocolate one of those things that we're going to find it really difficult to give up when we're starting to tune up our diet for training? And this week I'm asking people to add more fruit and veg in their diet. So I'm giving people some practical tips to help people to tune up their diet for their training. And so let's go back and let's have a look to see what happens in the rest of the month. So jump to start this June, you're getting a running program to kickstart your running. So we're kicking off with the marathon training plan. We're also then, you're getting a strength and conditioning program to help you with warm up and help you to get going and get mobilized for each of your runs. And we've got the 5 food for fitness foundations. So coming into July, what's going to happen in July? So in July, we're shifting up another gear. So in July, you also get another running plan. So we build on the running plan that we had in June. So June was a kickoff, and we start getting a little bit more intense, a little bit more intensive through July. And also through July, one of the biggest things we're going to be focusing in on is fabulous fundraising. Now, if you're running London Marathon next spring, or another major marathon, or even a half, chances are you will have got your place as a charity place. And a lot of those charity places, especially for London, they ask you to fundraise, round about £2,000. And that's a hell of a lot of money. So I'm kicking off July. We're going to be focusing on fundraising so we can get plans in place. I've got loads and loads of ideas we're going to be sharing in July for ideas for fundraising that you can put into your plan, and you can get started with your fundraising right now. And then when we're moving into August, we're going to start training for a half marathon. So June and July, in terms of training, it's about building up your base fitness to make sure that you are fit and strong to start running, including some more harder running in your training program, as well as building up to a half. And then from August into September, we're going to be training, doing your running training to build up for an autumn half marathon. But August, so whereas we had, June, we focused in on food for fitness, and July, we focused in on fundraising. August, we're going to be looking at making sure you're running with the right form. So I've got a module there, I'm calling it Funking Up Your Form. But really, we're looking at making sure that you're running with the right form so that you're not putting yourself, to be susceptible for injuries. We're also focusing quite heavily through August on strength and conditioning work. So we're looking to build up some of those areas in the body that traditionally are weak in us runners, so that we can make sure that you are running strong and you are running with good form. So to help you prevent any of the niggles further down the line with your training. And then, as the months progress, we're going to be working on different topics so the training builds through the end of this year, into September and October. And then when we get into January for our spring marathons, that's when we're going to be starting out with a 16-week marathon training program to get you trained, ready and prepared to run your spring marathon. Okay. So sounds good? Marathon Club Hub, there's an awful lot in the program. And what I'm trying to do is to just give you the key pieces of information, the snippets of information that are important for you to know about and to start working on each month by month. So I don't want to make sure that you're not overloaded with information and training and nutrition and strength and conditioning. So that's why it's important to start off now with your marathon training so you can build it month by month as you move towards your marathon. Now, Marathon Club Hub, it's a membership program, and you get all of this, and it's just £12 a month, which is a complete bargain to get all the advice and the information that I'm sharing with you. You also, if you join Marathon Club Hub, we've got a Facebook group, and the Facebook group is to build a community, and it's there in the Facebook group where you can ask all your questions about your training, about your race day, anything that we've shared that you're just not sure about. Ask the questions in the Facebook group, and you'll get all the answers that you need. Also in the Facebook group, I do webinars, at least once a month, if not more frequently, on some of the topics that we're covering that month. And I'm inviting some of my expert friends to also be coming in and giving webinars and talks and Facebook Live sessions to help you on particular aspects of your marathon training during the course of the program. And if you join Marathon Club Hub today, you can start right now. So I will put the link in the comment section to this video, but go in there, go and check it out and sign up, and you can get started right now. You can get started with your training, your preparation, and don't leave it till spring to get going. So Marathon Club Hub is going to be able to get you from being a nervous newbie. Maybe you're a new runner that, you haven't done very much running before, and, you're not truly sure what you've let yourself in for. We're going to take you from either being a nervous newbie runner or someone who hasn't run a marathon before to being confident that you can get to the start line of your marathon fit and ready to run your race. because I know that you can do it. The first time that I ran a marathon, I was so scared. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get there. I was going to be able to do the training. I had no idea what was involved. I know that you can run a marathon. I have run 8 and they are the most amazing experiences, run a marathon. But you do need to make sure that you focus on your training and you prepare well and you start training and preparing as soon as possible to make sure that you build a strong body, that you're eating the right food and you sorted out your fundraising well in advance of race day. So right now, go and check out Marathon Club Hub and join up. I know, and I can't wait to see you on the inside and see you and help you with your marathon training through to next spring. See you soon.